All right, so today is September 3rd, 2025. I just got home, walked Elvis, and took a shower. Um, I'd love to say it's because I was at the gym all night. Love to. I'd be pooped as hell, beyond tired, but I am beyond sore. I actually went to work and I worked what 5, 6, 7 pallets of freight. It was supposed to be my night off, and I got done at 5 and I bounced out. So it is what it is. Kind of pissed me off, so I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. But yeah, I went to the gym immediately afterwards, even though I was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna skip the gym today and stay at work for 2 hours. And then one person pissed me off, and I was like, I'm out. Went to the gym, which wasn't a bad thing. I didn't necessarily want to be there because I'm tired, but I still got a good workout. I mean, the total volume I pushed, let me get into that, was like 91,963 pounds, which ultimately wasn't bad. I mean, the night before I did 123,000, but my 10th workout was 33,000. It wasn't bad. I mean, let me look at the stats here. I'm trying to get it set up to where, and I think I'm gonna need the computer to do this, is where on my big days, try to keep it grouped together somewhat. Like, I didn't do back tonight. I didn't do arms today. I should say today, or not tonight, because it was like 6 a.m. by the time I got there. I wanted to start with knee raises, but I ended up actually starting with torso rotation and then switching over to the hip abductor / adduction machine. Then going over to do the parallel knee raises. So I'm maxed out on the torso rotation machine guy. I'm doing 207.5 pounds, which is the max. And I did 25 for total rep, or for each side for my max. I started out with, 23, quickly jumped up to 24. And I was like, let's do one more. 20. So I did 25. So next time I do body, which will be Friday, I should theoretically be pushing 30. So, and then for the hip adduction machine, I did 145 for 17. I was like, this is pretty light, and did 170 for 15. I'm like, this is still pretty light. And I'm almost maxing out the machine. I did 185 for 12. And then I switched over to do abductions, and I was like, wow, this is where I'm struggling. When I'm like this, I don't have the range of motion yet. So I was doing baby abductions, which I feel in my groin. Yeah, it's supposed to be in the groin area. I was doing 130 twice for 13. And I was just like, trying my damnedest. And then I bumped it up to 140, and I did 11 reps of that. And then as soon as that was done, I quickly went over to the parallel knee raise parallel bars, where I did 30 reps twice. And then I was starting to feel it. My body was like, you're done. I did 16. And then I tried to do the crunch machine. I only did 2 sets. I started out with 80 for 3, and I bumped it down to 75, and I could only do 3 because my body was done. Then I immediately went over to the Smith machine, where I did originally, for deadlifts, I did 185 for 13. I was like, all right, this is feeling good, pretty good. I went up to 205. That was too much. Currently, I did 9 reps. I should have stayed there. Did I stay there? I stayed there. What the hell? Whatever. It's because the third rep says I did 185 for 10, which was actually 205 for 10. So whatever. I didn't catch that I did that. Then I quickly went into squats, which I did 185 for 11 and 185 for 12. And I'm like, you know what? Let's bump it up. If I'm doing 12, 11 and 12, let's bump it up. I bumped it up to 205 and I did 13. Did over my weight, and I was like, you know what? Let's not go too much higher on that. It's the bar on my neck and my shoulders that was going to kill me. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I need to see about if they got a foam roller or something for the neck and shoulders on that. And then I quickly went into shrugs on the Smith machine, which in reality I should have done the shrugs with the deadlift because it would have already been down low. And I did 115 pounds at 10 reps. I was like, okay, so let's bump that up. And I did 205 for 2 sets. First set was for 7 and the second was for 6. 205 seems to be right where I should be right now. I never actually did the shrugs with the weight. So my problem was I was losing grip on the bar. And I was feeling it. I was like, yeah, I can't. I'm going to drop the bar. Then I quickly went into bench presses where the first set I did 125 for 15. And then I was like, that's pretty light. Bumped it up to 145 for 11. I was like, that's still pretty light. And then I did 165 for 10. 165 seems to be where I need to be at for the moment. And then I inclined it, raised the Smith bar, did 125 for 10 reps. And I was like, I fiddled with it for a minute to try to find the right configuration I needed because it was not working at 165 was too much. So I bumped it down to 125 real fast, and I did 10 reps. Well, I didn't bump it down real fast. I fiddled, and I was like finding the sweet spot because I couldn't push. I was like, what the hell? And so then I did 125 for 10 as soon as I got it there. I was like, you know what, that's pretty freaking light. I'm not struggling. Then I bumped it up to 145. I was like, this is, I think, where I need to be. And I did 145 for 11. And the second set, I did 12 at 145. Now, here's where I'm really excited. So, yes, the other day when I started doing leg presses, and I think this is where my hamstrings are killing me, I did 437 pounds. I don't remember what 417 and see. So the first one was, and I did that for 15, I guess. Right? So I bumped it up to first step, and then I bumped it up to 527 because I was like, you know what? Let's slap 490 or 445 pounds on each side, see what happens. If I can't lift it, not a big deal. I'll close it back down, and we will just chill. So I did. So the sled itself is 167 pounds, and then you slap 180 pounds on each side. I guess it equals out to 100, right? 527 pounds. I did 13 reps. 13. You know, I hit RPM, volume, and weight on that. And then the second set I did 11. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then I switched over to the pec deck. Now I was doing 180 yesterday on that. And I did several sets. And I was like, let's try to that's the starting point, let's go. I couldn't do it. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So I stepped it down, actually. You know, and so I stepped it down to 160, still couldn't do it. I was like, what the fuck? This is my normal weight. I don't understand. And so I went a little extreme and bumped it down to 11 or 100, and I did 12 reps. I was like, I could keep going, but I don't want to at this weight because it's not going to produce anything. So I went back, as soon as that was done, I gave myself a little bit of a rest. Didn't need a big one. I bumped it up to 140. I was like, okay, this is where I guess I'm sitting at. I did for 8 reps on that for the first round, and for the second round I did 10, and that's really where I called it a day on the exercise. I mean, I'm pretty tired, and I did a lot in the gym and at work. I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm hungry. You know, I probably burned 1,700 calories at work alone, and I burned another, according to the app, I burned another 574. So I probably did 2,200 just sitting there, just doing that. I mean, so, yeah. But C was at work. I was excited to see her. I think she had some family issues going on or something. She left at lunch and I didn't see her after that, which sucked. So I'd love to have talked to her. I was kind of hoping she'd come back in on lunch. But it is what it is. And I hope everything's okay and I get to see her tonight. Got to see the cute brunette or blonde from OGP tonight. She ignored me as weirdly as she does because she gets weird sometimes when she knows it's me out and about, or out when she's delivering to the cars. She looks all excited. And I'm like, whatever. And then it came out. Damn it. I guess I gotta cancel that. But I guess I can watch some of my shows that are on here. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. So, but it is what it is. I didn't get to see D last night or this morning. Well, I left before I got to see. No, because what's her face was there. So I didn't get to see D. I guess D has the day off or had the day off. Yeah, she's yesterday, and I get to see her tonight or something. I don't know. So, anyways, I feel like I'm starting to ramble. I'm gonna watch some TV. Probably gonna watch The Rookie. Not starting it over again, but just starting from where in a certain episode and just watching. It's been a minute since I've watched it, and I like that show. And I guess since I'm paying for Hulu again, I'm gonna do it. So, I don't know what else to say. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Later.